You guys, welcome back to the channel. So I want to give you a bit of an update on what's happening with the altcoin market and whether it's official that altcoin season has started. So I want the opportunity to say, I told you so, and talk about my other video, which I made 10 days ago, explaining when altcoin season was happening. And I'm just basically explaining that when we get below 58% in Bitcoin dominance, that's when we're going to see a run happen. Soon, we can expect that as long as it gets below, sufficiently below 58%, and we get a closing candle, a weekly closing candle below 58%, then you can say it's very safe to say that the trend has started and the money is going to start flowing from Bitcoin to Ethereum. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a bad... Yeah, that's it. So yeah, basically we have already achieved that in spades. In fact, much faster than I could have expected. Although this is around the time frame that I was looking at. When it happens so quickly and so violently. When the altcoin market starts, I mean, there's no way to catch it as it's happening. You just have to be in there already, or you've basically already missed the boat. So we dropped from, when I made that video, we were at 60%. We've dropped 5%. And for those of you thinking that's not a lot of money, that's a huge amount, because you have to understand that Bitcoin's got a market cap of what, like, how many trillions? 1.8 trillion. So imagine, you know, around 5% of that going into the altcoin markets. Not just thinking ETH, but imagine the smaller market caps. That's when you get these big gains happening. But there's something that's really interesting that I did not expect, and that is that the Bitcoin dominance would drop significantly, mainly due to one coin. But I would say maybe I would go as far as say maybe two coins. But what happened with Ripple was something that I really did not see. I mean, this always happens, but when it does happen, again, it's just kind of shocking when it does happen. What I'm talking about is the fact that Ripple has gone 5x. In fact, more, it just does not stop. It has gone crazy since the time that I made my last video, the one that you just watched now. It was around 50 cents. Now it's at $2.50. I mean, that's a solid 5x. Now, these movements do tend to happen in crypto, but for that to happen for a coin that was already, I think it was number 7 on coin market cap, and, for it to already have, tens of billions of dollars as a market cap, and for it to 5x, it's really big. And as you can see here, I mean, look at that straight line. I mean, that is wild. Now, the thing that is interesting for me, maybe a little bit frustrating, if you're an altcoin holder, is the fact that this huge drop in Bitcoin dominance is almost certainly, the majority of it is because of Ripple, right? It's not because there are huge gains in other coins, although there is some pretty decent gains going on here and there. I see Cardano's been ripping, Stellar has been doing a little something, Chainlink now, it happens in bits and pieces to different alts. But most of the money flowing into alts, unfortunately, has just been going to Ripple. Now, of course, it's not unfortunate if you're holding Ripple, but Ripple has just been dominating a lot of the funds flowing from Bitcoin into Ripple these days. So unless you're holding Ripple, then it's somewhat inconsequential. And that's part of the reason why I want to make this video. And that's to tell you that you've got a bit more time to get into alts if you wanted to get into alts. This is really it, and I promise this is going to be one of the last videos I'm going to make shilling altcoins, because in my channel, if you watch it, I'm fairly conservative when it comes to investing in crypto. Generally, my advice is to just DCA into Bitcoin, put into cold storage, never sell it. The reason why I don't like to go into altcoins is because for the most part it's gambling, but I'm trying to be realistic with my audience. And I'm telling you, the altcoins are going to go up dramatically. And if you're going to get into it, it's better if you get into it now rather than getting into later. And I know that it sounds like FOMO talk, but I'm just being realistic. Like I'm going to make videos about this in the future. Once the altcoin market is pumped, and that again could be a week from now, it could be a few weeks from now, it could be a month from now. Once we're getting to like, Bitcoin dominance getting below 50%, it's over. I don't think it's a good idea to start getting into the market at that stage. Now, people will still do it. People will still make money, but that's when you're in real hot potato mode. That's when you know that if you don't sell the moment you're in profit, then you're going to be at risk of losing your original principal. Because once the market is pumped, even if it's as soon as January, you pretty much, once the bear market rolls around, which is inevitable, and that's going to happen approximately that's going to happen late next year or 2026. Once the bear market goes into full swing, you're going to have to sell everything at a loss. That's if you do sell it, which is, you don't want to be holding alts during a bear market. It's that's where these big losses happen. Whereas if you bought even recently, you could arguably hold through a bear market and still come out pretty good. You certainly won't lose your principal for the most part. But once you see these straight lines, it's already over. Like, for instance, like if I just look at Ripple here, again, as an example, like if this was your cue to start getting into Ripple, you are crazy, right? This is not the time you want to be getting into something like Ripple, right? Once this straight line has happened, if you buy now, maybe it could continue going up, but bare minimum, when the bear market rolls around next year, you're going to be screwed, right? So you're going to have to treat this thing like a hot potato. You've got to immediately dispatch of it. Whereas if you've been stacking alts, over patiently, over the past few months in anticipation of this, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. And I think one of the big things when it comes to trading in crypto is to do things that preserve your own psychology more than anything. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're stacking up risk to the point where if you don't sell at the right time, you're screwed. If you don't buy at the right time, you're screwed. The best thing is to DCA, but only when it's worthwhile. And this is really the last call to action. This is really it. We're already at 55% Bitcoin dominance. We have a ways to go. Typically, when I'm going to zoom out here so you can see, but typically during bull markets, it's very common to see Bitcoin dominance at around, I gotta go weekly. Bitcoin dominance should be around 40%. So I'm just going to show that to you here. All right, so this is in 2017. Bitcoin dominance is around 40%. And then we've got Bitcoin dominance at 40% in 2021. So we've got a ways to go. Alts are going to rally and they're going to do absolutely unbelievable things. People are going to become wealthy. But this is really it, and if you're waiting for confirmation, like, for these technical signals, like if you're waiting for Bitcoin dominance to drop below 58%, like what I was telling you about before, and you wanted a weekly candle confirmation, you got it, and that's really it. And you don't want to be in a situation where things start pumping and then you've got to sell it immediately, right? Like, you want to make it so that if you had to endure a bear market holding bags, you at least wouldn't drop down, your bags wouldn't at least drop down below what you originally paid it for, right? That's got to be the bare minimum. And I think that now is really it. Like, who knows a week or two from now whether you'll still have that opportunity. And that's not to say that you won't be able to make money still. I still believe that, like, anyone that you could buy, next month, 2 months, 3 months now, and you could be technically up, but you'd have to ensure that you time the market and sell it appropriately. But the thing is, obviously you can't time the market. So it's simply putting you at risk. So I'm making this video because I think this is really the last time to get in. Now, the reason why I say that as well is because Ripple has been so responsible for the vast majority of the Bitcoin dominance falling. Because you have to understand, like, okay, let's again look at Ripple. We'll look at the market cap before and after this massive pump so you can see what I'm talking about. The market cap was like 30 billion, right? For it to 5x, the market cap has to massively balloon. So pretty much you have to think about it like kind of like $110 billion in a way flowed from Bitcoin to XRP. That's not exactly scientific by any means, but that's a huge reason for the Bitcoin dominance falling. But again, we haven't seen anything from Ethereum. Ethereum has not gone through that yet. Solana, I think, has done that already, so maybe it's just cooling off. We certainly haven't seen anything with Binance Coin, Avalanche, Tron. There are so many top coins that have just the rain is falling, but the rain is flooding certain areas, but it hasn't gone to others. Now, what I can tell you about Ripple is that it has a similar life cycle to shitcoin. So what that means is it goes completely vertical, like a straight line, but then you can see what happens. When it dumps really hard, really fast, even if it's in the middle of a bull market, right? So once that line goes up, the bag holders, they sell, and you've got like a few days to get out, right? So what is going to happen inevitably with this Ripple pump is people are going to start selling eventually, and it's going to sell violently, right? And it's probably going to wreck a lot of people. But what's going to happen is that all that money that's going to start flowing out of Ripple eventually, it's going to go into other alts, right? So typically the life cycle is Bitcoin pumps, then the large market cap altcoins pump, then the medium-sized ones, then the small ones, right? So because we haven't seen Ethereum pump and BNB pump and stuff like that, when the Ripple sell-off happens, I think inevitably, well, first all the market's going to tank a little bit. It's going to dump a little bit. But when it comes back up, that's when I think you're going to start seeing Ethereum rally, Solana rally, BNB, and all these other coins that haven't been getting any love. And that's really it. Once that happens, I kind of good conscience continue to recommend people get into altcoins, because this is like a sliver of time where it's worthwhile to get in, because I want to be able to recommend stuff to people where it's like, even if they were forced to become bag holders during a bear market, they at least would not have lost their principal. I think like it could be as little as next week, a few weeks from now, anyone that buys alts at this stage, if they were to bag hold for, into the bear market, they would basically be getting wrecked. Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to time the market. Fair enough. I think everyone's got a general plan for how they plan to exit next year, but you should at least admit to yourself that it's going to be not a good plan. It's the best you can do, but no one can successfully time the market. The best you can do is buy well in advance and admit to yourself that you've missed the boat. And the time where you've missed the boat is basically there. The boat has, it's been docked, but it's about to leave. And I can guarantee once Ripple deflates from this unbelievable pump, it's just going to start flowing into all these other alts. And the last time you want to be buying is when it's green. You want to be buying when it's red. Like the time to have been purchasing a lot of this stuff is when people were panicking. I'm not even talking like in the midst of the bear market like we saw back in 2022. I'm talking like even this year alone, there were so many times where Bitcoin had reached all-time highs, and then like it went from 72K to 50K, and people were freaking out. That's the time to buy. You want to be buying when it's in the red. You don't want to be buying in the green. And soon it's just going to be waves of green, and that's going to only benefit the people that are already in. It's not going to benefit the people that buy when it's green, because those are the people that get it dumped on later on. So take this as a warning. This is really the last time. Then after that, it's going to be mostly you can still make money, but the risk is only going to increase with time. And I think if you want to get in with the least amount of risk, buying Ethereum now is the absolute best thing you can do. And again, I don't like to shill meme coins and stuff like that, but if you wanted to get into some meme coin, Shiba Inu, hasn't had its pump yet. Think about Ripple going 5x from 30 billion to 140 billion. And look at Shiba Inu's market cap. It hasn't even touched what it was earlier in the year. When Bitcoin was at 72K, look what happened with Shiba Inu. It went all the way to I can't read those tiny numbers. I need the market cap. It went to a market cap of 20 billion, from 5 billion. Shiba Inu hasn't even reached that. There are some other small ones that haven't. BNB is another good one, but I think BNB has generally, I think it even performed well in the bear market. Okay, BNB is maybe not the best, but I mean it's not the best example I've seen. Okay, Ton. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm just a bit curious. Okay, so a lot of coins are reaching their previous all-time highs. So I'm just seeing like what hasn't reached its all-time high. What is okay? Polkadot, that's another one, another good one for you. You know, it's only just getting close to where it was like earlier in the year. You know, but look at this pump that was experienced back in 2021. So a lot of coins are very underpumped, and they're just waiting for one of the big ones to they're just waiting for capital to spill over from some of these other coins. I think Ripple is just hogging a lot of that capital, but that's not going to be long. It's not going to be forever. And I think, yeah, now is really the last time to take advantage. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you want more updates, no nonsense advice, make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you want to get involved in peer-to-peer trading, you can use my referral links in the description down below for local CoinSwap, HODL HODL. If you're interested in buying Monero P2P, then you can use my referral link for BitPapa. I've also got BitValve. This is really good if you want to buy crypto without KYC. And also if you're interested in making money peer-to-peer trading, I think it's a really good way to make money because essentially you're just selling crypto above market rate in exchange for accepting less orthodox payments. So centralized exchanges typically only accept bank transfers. But if you're going to sell Bitcoin in exchange for other payment methods like PayPal, TransferWise, Revolut, etc., you can charge, who knows, 2, 3, 4, 5% above market rate. So that's a good way of making money. And I'll see you next time.